It shows how resilient they are. It shows just the character that they have as players. They always stay in the fight. They're always hungry to get better, and that's what it's about. That's what football's about. That's what a season's about. There's a lot that you learn as you go.
I know you guys say every week's championship week. You want to go 1-0, in the Mountain West. But once this week arrived, and now you're in practice, and you're, one game away from winning that title. What's the feeling like around the building and stuff?
Obviously, there's good energy. There's a good vibe, but I know it's cliche, but that's how they approach every week. Is that preparation, that commitment to the standard, to the details, and that's what's got them to this point. Is that consistency. So there's obviously great energy, but their process is part of the same, their routine and their urgency.
You played on championship teams here. There have been plenty before you, and there have been plenty since you've played. Why is this team, or this school, always seemingly in the hunt for the championship?
I think it has a lot to do with our staff, Coach Avalos, our leadership, but also the players, and just the foundation that's been set, the culture that we have, how we do things, how we go about our business. But it's got to be earned. You can't take anything for granted. These guys have worked extremely hard around the clock for a long, long time. So it's got to be earned. There's still a lot of hard work that goes into place.
We've seen Matt Lauder kind of get more and more responsibility. What have you liked about his development the last couple months?
I think Matt's just continuing to get better because he's hungry to get better. He's improving each day, but he's really found his role on special teams, and that allowed him to get on the field, build some confidence, make some plays, and that translates to every part of the game. So he's done a great job just owning his role and starring in it, and when you do that, your role expands.
How good do you feel for a guy like George who goes over 1,000 yards after dealing with so many injuries the last couple of years?
Oh man, it's an awesome deal for him because he's such a great player but great person. And what he means to us in this program, it's good to see him go out and do what we all know he's capable of doing.
I'm sure I've asked you this before, but what makes him so great as a running back?
He's extremely intelligent. I think what he does really well that people don't really give enough credit for is his protection. He's great in protection, and that is awesome for the whole team. But I think he's got those skills as a running back that you want. He can make guys miss. He can run guys over. He's got good vision, and he works at it. He works really hard, and he studies.
It's kind of an obvious question and answer, but you guys have had such a great year, but the championship's obviously the goal. How much does this game change your feeling on the season? Obviously, that's your goal, to win the title.
Yeah. So, you guys have been in the team room. Our goal is up there in the team room for us to see this is our goal. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done, but this is the next step towards our goal.
What do you see in Fresno State's defense? What makes them unique? What makes them, one of the better defenses that you face?
Talent. They got a lot of good players at every level. Their scheme, they're well coached. They do a lot of different things that you got to prepare for, and they play hard. They hunt to the ball, and that's a sign of a good defense.
How different is this Fresno team than the one you guys played, 2 months ago?
Everybody evolves. Everybody changes. So just like them, their defense has evolved and changed. But I think personnel-wise, they got a few guys back that they didn't have against us. So as we know, that always kind of changes the dynamic. But goes back to us preparing and doing our job.
A lot of seniors in this tight end class right now. What has their leadership kind of meant for the younger guys coming up?
Yeah, it's huge because they set the example. How you prepare, how you practice. They bring the young guys along, kind of teach them the ropes. They do a great job of communicating at practice with guys, coaching guys up between reps, and they all lead in their own way. And Riley does a great job being a vocal leader, not just for our unit, but for the offense, and he's really stepped up in that department.
You look at how tight ends are used in this system. There aren't many that are catching 30 or 40 passes this season. They're having to do more of the dirty work, right? How do you as a coach prepare those guys to take on that role?
It's a long process. There's a lot of little things that go into it. Got to maximize our time out on the field. Got to make sure that we do the prep year round, so they're building those skills and habits so they can translate that to the field. But it's always a work in progress. But those guys do a really good job on their own studying and preparing to understand the details so we can just hit the ground running on the field.
There's something about a certain star quality or potential of being the the quarterback and starting quarterback at Boise State. I mean, you saw it when you were here. It seems like Talon has the personality that to really handle that well. I mean, what do you think about kind of the way he's handled his ascension and how that'll be going forward?
Yeah, I think it goes back to who he is as a person.
Yeah.
He's a humble guy. He's great to be around. He's a phenomenal teammate, and you guys are seeing that. And he's working really hard, and he's improving, and it's showing up each week. But he's earned it. He's earned it. He's worked really hard at it, and he stayed humble through it, which is great.
Since he took over starting quarterback, when you look at the offense, how do you think it's improved the most from then to now?
I think we're just becoming more consistent in a lot of different areas. Able to make some plays. Our explosiveness, we got to continue to work at that, but that's showing up. And his ability to make plays and extend plays, that always helps in offense.
Ashton Jeanke's come in and really taken on a big role as a freshman. What have you seen out of him this season, and where have you seen him grow the most?
Yeah, I think this season you really see just the type of player he is, the mentality he plays with, the effort he plays with, how explosive he can be. I think his growth as a freshman is just continuing to learn more about the game, all the ins and outs, all those little details. Like we talked about George, the protection, how important that is, and you've seen huge strides in that department. But he's just a phenomenal player and person, so we're excited.
And he's such a physical runner. Is that something that's rare in a freshman, to be as physical as he is at this point?
I think what makes him unique is that the moment's never too big for him. He just goes out and plays ball, and you see that. He's playing fast all the time, so that's what makes him pretty unique.